Hi, I'm Moira. I am a former IP attorney turned legal strategist, legal consultant. And today is the third video in this series talking about how to help you get the law firm that you really want, the law firm you deserve, the law firm of your dreams. And this is a way for you to find a way to develop your practice from where you are right now. And so if you have not watched videos 1 and 2, which is resolution and stasis, the end and the beginning, I encourage you to go back to those first, because this video refers to both of those and it won't make a lot of sense without them. But if you have done the first 2 videos, so you know that you are rewriting your story, you are changing the way that things go in your firm so that you truly can have that firm of your dreams. You are not going to do things the way you've always done because you know that that will get you what you've always gotten. And so this is your opportunity to change that story. So we're going to rewrite your law firm life. And so today we are going to look at what you wrote at the beginning and the end of your story. So your resolution and your stasis. The stasis is deliberately called that. It is the part of the story where you are stuck somehow. It is the thing that happens in the beginning where you're kind of in suspended animation because the story hasn't really started. It is the before picture and not the after. And this is the place to look at both of these drafts. And I really encourage you to do this on paper as much as possible, even if you do need to type them up, to print them out, because I think that there's something about that additional separation that is really helpful. And so this is the place where I want you to look at the beginning and the end and see where they match up. In the beginning, do you feel stuck? And in the end, do you feel freed? In the beginning, do you feel overwhelmed? And in the end, do you feel like you are on top of your process and you can handle all your client matters? It is a way of looking to see where the transformation has happened and what transformation has happened. So, this, I think, also is a really interesting place to see where what you talk about in the beginning is not talked about at all in the end, and vice versa, because that gives us clues sometimes. Sometimes it's clues of things we hadn't even considered. Sometimes it's clues of things that aren't truly important. Sometimes it reminds us that things change. And so I think it's good to do, but I also think it's an opportunity to see where if you have something that isn't in the beginning and the end, maybe that should be included somewhere so that you can look at, oh, I was writing this in the end and I was talking about how I was in this beautiful conference room, working collaboratively with my associates. We meet every week and we have this real camaraderie. And I didn't talk about anything like that now. And I didn't even think about the fact that mostly what we do is we all work individually in our offices. And our doors are closed and we rarely see each other except maybe going in and out of the office or sometimes in the break room. And so I think that that's important to me. There's something about that that's really important to me. So I'm going to put that at the beginning of my story, that we all work alone. We don't speak to each other. We don't collaborate. We send emails, this sort of thing. So you want to kind of flesh out the story at the beginning and the end. You want to look for places where your language is maybe qualified. And I have a friend who, she said lawyers are the worst at qualifiers. And I'm like, well, yes, because it always depends. Like, I can't even tell you that, yes, that's the truth, that's the law, because it depends. Like, and we're taught that right from the 1L days, right? So look at your language, look at where your language is less powerful, because this is a story. And the more powerful the story, the more ability it will have to teach you what you need to do to move from where you are now to where you want to be. And so if you have weak language, make it stronger, dial it up, dial up the tension, dial up the pain, dial up the joy in the end. You really want to look at both of these and see where the contrasts happen, see where places might be missing, add on something that might be missing. Also, for some people, we talked about this in the first video, but for some people, it's about describing a typical Tuesday. Because if you can have amazing, perfect joy, if you can have a wonderful day on a Tuesday, a regular Tuesday, then most things in your practice may be going well. But if part of what you want is a varied practice, or part of what you want is to be able to go or take time or have a compressed work week or even a part-time work week, or if your dream is that you live in Mexico and run your bookstore and you telecommute, talk to your associates, and come up for trials every quarter or so, that's your dream. And so you can talk about what that looks like in the different situations and include both of that more in your end, because of course that's the dream. And if you have anything similar to that now. I also think that this is a good time for you to consider how other people are affected by the life you're living in your firm, and maybe include a little bit of their story as well. So you can, if you're the firm owner or the firm manager, you can think about, well, what does this look like for my associates? Or what does this look like for my family? How are they affected? And put those, add those stories to the end. Also, this is the great place for you, if you haven't put enough detail, the more detail you can add to this, the more you can read it. And it's like watching a movie. Like, you can imagine, you can see each moment. If you can see someone smile, right? You can see that the furniture is so cozy, and it is comfortable to sit on, and it's a pleasure to sit at your desk. That's the kind of description that you want, as much as possible to bring it to this visually concrete style as possible. And don't forget the emotions. Don't forget to talk about how you are feeling or how other people are feeling in the beginning and the end of the story, because this will give power to your change. This is truly what creates the transformation in this particular kind of story and in you making changes in your law firm. So, I'm Moira. I'm an IP attorney turned legal practice consultant, and I am loving this process. I hope you're enjoying it too. Check out here, if you haven't watched videos 1 and 2, start there, go back, do them again. And these will be coming out weekly, so there will be a whole series. And at the end of this series, you will have an entire book. Doesn't have to be thousands of pages, but you will have an entire story plotted out that will show you and your journey all the way from where you are now to what you really want. So happy lawyering and good luck.